Welcome back. We're visiting with Twila White and Whitney Pike. They are with the Ozark Rape Crisis Center. And tell us a little bit about what that means and maybe what you all do as part of that organization.
So we are sexual assault victims are able to come to our location or call or do Zoom meetings, and we just offer support. We have a 24-hour crisis hotline that they can call, and a trained advocate will answer at any point. That's through holidays, weekends, everything. We also offer victim advocacy services, so we will accompany them to medical exams, police stations, any court dates that they may need during that process. We also have prevention education, so we have specific specialists that will go out and speak to schools or groups of any kind for prevention education. And
that's
then,
probably huge, actually.
It is. Yes. That's where, we make changes is in prevention education for sure. So that's what we do, and we do offer support groups when it's needed. We've had to kind of cut down on that a little bit because of COVID, but that is an option as well.
Right. So what do you do?
A little bit of everything. I'm the advocacy coordinator, so what that means is that I'm in charge of volunteers. And so we like to get our name out there, and it's really pretty easy to volunteer. Mainly it's the hotline, but then also we train them the same as we're trained with a 20-hour training from Ozark, not from Ozark. We do it, but it's from ACASA, which is the Arkansas Coalition Against Sexual Assault. Okay. And they get that same training, and so they are able to go out and meet people where they are, whether they're at a like a hospital or law enforcement. And they can be involved, volunteers can be involved as much as they want to or as little as they want to after that initial contact with them. Okay. So
So if you're a volunteer, you are the receiving end of perhaps a phone call, and then you will go and find this or meet with this person.
Lots of times we have calls from the hospital or the law enforcement. We like those. Now, we serve 5 counties up here. We have 3 offices. We've kind of expanded, I think, since we've been here. So we have an office in Harrison that serves Boone, Marion, Carroll, Newton, and Searcy. And then we have one in Clarksville that serves Johnson County. And then we just opened a Russellville office a year ago.
Wow.
And so it serves the Pope County piece of it, which, Tech's there. And so right now they're doing a fundraiser at the Clarksville office for gift wrapping. They do it every year. And, of course, they've had to change it a little because we've always had them drop the stuff off. We'd wrap it. They could come back and get it for, a fee either per box or just a donation. And so this year they're going to offer going out and picking it up and dropping it off. So a pick up and delivery. Gotcha. Well, I think they're actually going to have to drop it off, but then they're going to deliver it wherever they want them to take it to. And there's 3 people in each office, so it's, we have to rely on those volunteers.
Right.
They can be in the office if they want to just do like an office setting, answer phones and through the daytime. We've also, for that, we have an internship and a work study with North Ark. Okay. So they can be, in the internship, it just goes for class credit, but the work study is actually paid for by North Ark, and it can be a person that, it can either be like someone that's interested in the medical field, they're going into that. So we really like nurses, law enforcement. We've had a few people that are volunteers still that have went through North Ark and then are now in law enforcement of some sort, like adult, whatever that's called, services.
And so you always need volunteers?
Always, 100% of the time, because yes, what happens is when we leave at 5, that phone goes, it has to be answered all the time, so it goes to the answering service. So the answering service is really good about filtering out things that, we do get prank calls, believe it or not. But they are good at filtering that out. So then they relay after 5 to 8 in the morning, and on weekends, that's when the volunteers work. And we'll never want them to go out by themselves the first time. And they have lots of training. So, and I mean, anybody can be trained. I mean, if you're empathetic, you're sympathetic, you care about a cause, those people are just looking for reassurance to get their lives back on track.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
and
to
as
help
you
with
pointed
that.
out, you can be as involved after that initial thing as you want. And so if someone is interested in did you have a question?
No, I had a couple, but that's fine.
Go ahead, please.
No, well, you asked.
Well,
them.
I was going to if someone wants to volunteer, what is the criteria? Like, how do they, hey, I want to volunteer. How do they?
They can get a hold of us, and virtually now you can get a hold of us anyway. We have ORCC on Facebook. We have an Instagram account. We have a Twitter, right? And now we also have a TikTok. So,
Oh, my
Oh, goodness.
so
Y'all are the
please tune
queens
in
of social media now.
Well, you know, Kirsten is good at doing that, our director of education,
Yes.
and she is very involved with that. So our number is 741-4141 is local, and 800-818-1189, and they're both answered 24/7.
You probably didn't get to have your
We did not.
Showdown.
Our lip sync showdown, we did not. We tried to reschedule it. You know, that's been a really awesome event for the last 2 years
Right.
to get the community involved, and we usually have it at the Lyric. We postponed it until like the Christmas season, but then now we're
Yeah.
just
Right.
postponing until next year.
right.
Yeah, so it's a good fundraiser. We are grant driven. We do have federal grants, but we also have the United Way here in Boone County and in Johnson County. And then we also just regular donations. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I wanted to ask Whitney about your education. Can you schedule a group? Can a group schedule you? And
So-
how small can a group be?
Kirsten Walker is actually who does our prevention
Okay.
education. But you can contact her through any of the ways that you can contact through for volunteering, and it can be any size group. And you know, she would work with you to decide what you felt like was appropriate to talk about, what you wanted to talk about. She's currently doing prevention education at Valley Springs this week. They're doing it all virtual.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's where it's the first time they've had to do that, and it's
Well, that
it's
might even
working
make it
out pretty
easier
well.
for some people.
Yes, and you know, we learn as we go when it comes to the virtual stuff, but
Sure, yeah.
Well,
but
sure.
it's definitely working out well. But yeah, anyone who wanted to have her come speak to a group, they could just contact us at the Ozark Rape Crisis Center. and we could
Education,
get it.
education,
Yeah,
education.
and we
Yeah.
can all do it as well. And what last year's grant enabled us to do when we opened the Russellville office, we were also able to get it where she didn't just do schools and that kind of activity. We're community driven too, to educate the community. One thing I didn't
Can
talk
they go to
about.
civic groups and talk and that kind of thing? I mean,
Yes, any of us can, but Kirsten is mainly the
Okay.
one that does it. And we have this, it's called a COSAR, and I've talked to you guys about it before. It's a council or coalition. It's a council on sexual assault response team.
Oh, that's-
And we
yeah,
have tried to
remember that.
get everyone that has identity in the, whether it's advocacy or whether it's police, or, and we do have a big involvement. So we meet on that quarterly, and that is for Boone County.
Okay.
And so if anyone is interested in getting on that, because we also look for individuals or businesses to be on there, but we've
Okay.
got representation from pastoral, and
Wow.
we just kind of look at what the sexual assault problems are here
Yeah.
in our area,
Right.
and then how to combat those or educate on those. So.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you
Volunteer.
for having us.
Yeah, and when you have your lip sync event, come back and tell us all about it.
We certainly
You
we
have
can
will.
you have to
people
do
to
one
turn
though.
out.
We do.
Yeah.
No, you have to get on TV and do
Oh,
it.
well, it's on. Okay, we've already got one planned out, because, yeah, we can do that.
I want
All right.
to.
You too, right?
Did you see the one we did a couple of years, or
Yeah,
last year?
I did, but yes, I think I did.
Yeah, it was to, I can't remember. Anyway, it was a very, it fit the purpose song, so.
Okay.
And yeah, it was good.
Well,
we
we'll
did
have
it.
you come back.
Yeah,
Thank
please
you.
do.
All right.
Thank you,
Yes,
ladies.
thank
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having us.
Up next,
Gina
Gina Scarberry and Hannah Carlson is here, and we're going to talk about
Stuff.
entertainment. And we'll talk about that in just a couple minutes. Stay with us.